for stage 3 and 4 disease, combination chemotherapy with ABVD has been the standard treatment in North America since the CALGB trial conducted in the early 90s, published in 1992. This is a very effective regimen. I would say approximately 70% of patients overall get a durable remission, but the question is if you can improve on that. And we were actually major participants in the ECHELON-1 trial, which was an international trial of roughly 1,300 patients in Europe, South America, I think, and the Far East. Patients with stage 3 and 4 disease, newly diagnosed, were randomized to either standard ABVD or to Brentuximab Vedotin, the antibody-drug conjugate, plus AVD, eliminating the bleomycin. And this was reported with a 2-year modified progression-free survival, which was one of the primary endpoints at the American Society of Hematology meeting a number of years ago, and concomitantly it was published in the New England Journal of Medicine. And we now have further follow-up, some of which has been published. We published a paper in Blood on the 3-year results, and what we found is similar to what was found at 2 years, which was the primary endpoint, that the difference favoring Brentuximab Vedotin plus AVD over ABVD with respect to modified progression-free survival was maintained, and even a little bit higher, in the neighborhood of 7% or so. We also found in analysis of risk factors and population groups that with follow-up, virtually every subcategory of Hodgkin lymphoma patients benefited from BV plus AVD as compared with ABVD. The toxicities are a little bit different. The major toxicity of the A plus AVD, of the BV plus AVD regimen, which combines Brentuximab Vedotin with vinblastine, was neurotoxicity, which, as I said, usually clears up, but some patients really have debility from that. And the second important side effect was fever and neutropenia and infection and neutropenia. And there were even some deaths in the trial on the BV plus AVD arm. So there was a safety analysis during the trial, and this resulted in a recommendation of prophylactic use of growth factor, usually filgrastim or pegfilgrastim, when BV plus AVD is used. It was not mandated. Some physicians did it, other physicians didn't. We did a subset analysis of the patients on the BV plus AVD arm who did receive prophylaxis as compared to those who didn't. And this is not a very, this is kind of a messy analysis, but we did find that we could cut the febrile neutropenia or neutropenia infection rate from around 22% in those who didn't receive prophylaxis to 11% of those who did, which is similar to the febrile neutropenia rate that we see with commonly used lymphoma regimens like CHOP or R-CHOP. So we think that there is some advantage, though no survival difference, to using Brentuximab plus AVD. So there is now an intergroup trial, which is a large randomized trial in the United States, comparing BV plus AVD versus Nivolumab plus AVD. Nivolumab has a similar outstanding response rate, twice that of any single conventional chemotherapy agent, similar to Brentuximab Vedotin, but is an entirely different mechanism. It's a checkpoint inhibitor which sort of unleashes the body's immune system to attack the tumor. And so this is ongoing, and they're looking to see which is better, and they're going to be looking at toxicity in both arms. We're not participating in that.